Okay, seed stage investment group Investible has found a new CEO in industry veteran Rod Bristow. Rod comes across from Clime Investment Management, and his first task is to raise a new $50 million fund. Rod joins us now in the studio to tell us more about the plans. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Congrats on the appointment. What a great team working with Trevor and Creel. And they've got some bigger plans that we'll talk about shortly. But for you, not a bad job description. Go and find me $50 million.
Small task to start with, but look, I think, you know, as you said, working with Trevor and Creel was a big draw card for me. The ability to, work with absolute industry legends and to learn from them and to build on that almost 10-year track record to, or 10-year track record to take us to the next level. So very exciting, but yeah, big task ahead.
Yeah, now tell us about the mandate of the new fund. Well, is it a version 2 of your initial fund, or will it have a slightly different focus?
The main difference, so it's very similar to Fund 1. So seed stage investment companies leveraging Investable's proprietary process. And, you know, we use data extensively in the seed stage, sort of turning the, or fusing the art and science of early stage investing, as we like to say internally, but very similar mandate. Probably the major difference is that we are taking a slight tilt towards more of an impact focus in this fund. So we had a lot of demand in Fund 1 from some of the companies coming through that had a strong impact focus, and we want to be able to accommodate that demand in Fund 2.
That's fantastic. And I assume that, I mean, Investable's premise is that it is seed round.
Yep.
Are you looking to sort of double down on some of the companies down the track? Because Fund 1, I think, put into about 32 companies in sort of 19 countries. It's got this amazing sort of breadth to it. Those companies, some of them have come out. Investable's been doing this for 7 years now. Is it staying in there for the rest of the game?
Fund 2, absolutely. So, you know, we think that if you look at, it's no secret, there's a huge weight of money flowing into venture capital. I think particularly there's a whole series of tailwinds behind that, but with such a low yield environment, there's a significant weight of money flowing into venture capital seeking better returns. But what we see is that that money is largely still flowing to later stage investments, and so that is creating a gap at seed stage, and that you know, fortunately in a way is where Investible has built its real heritage and its expertise. And so Fund 2 will still be seed stage. You know, the product roadmap I can't really talk about too much at this stage, but suffice to say that, you know, once we are successful with Fund 2, and we're pretty confident with the early signs, once we're successful with Fund 2, we'll start to then think about what does that future product roadmap look like.
Coming into this, where are you seeing opportunities in the seed space though? And when you're looking at opportunities for this fund, do you have an idea of what kind of mix Australia will play in this?
Yeah, a lot of our deal flow is coming out of Australia, but, you know, we have invested in 9 countries globally, and you know, we do have a number of partners all over the world who are helping us identify deals, including our club members. You know, one of the unique things about Investible is we have our funds, but we also have a very active club who help us source deals and often share in the economics of those deals that come through. So Australia will continue to play a big part. Fund 2 is registered as ESV CLP, so, you know, we have some constraints around that as well. But we will be looking to create further deal flow offshore. You know, what we're really seeing is that we really look at around 100 opportunities for each investment that we make. And that's why we need to systemise the due diligence process, which we've done through our data-driven approach. And you know, we're seeing a lot more demand for capital than is still there. So there's still a lot of opportunity in seed stage, but primarily Australia, but we are opening the horizons a little more.
Rod, you've had a long career in financial services. What made you sort of decide to go to the other side and get into the investment venture capital side?
I'm not sure how to take that, but no, you're right. I have been working.
Well, I'm thinking back to Greening Australia all those years ago.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it's interesting you mentioned that, because you know, the Greening Australia, and even I founded a company, you know, with 3 other partners many years ago, and we actually did the first carbon trade in Queensland way back in 2001. So I can't get that environmental streak out, if you like. But look, you know, when Investible first approached me, sort of about August last year, and we started the conversations about the vision for the business, and I was hooked. You know, that story of Creel and Trevor's and the narrative of where the business has come from and where it's going, and that combination of, you know, the left brain of you know, creating a new asset class in seed and developing that and bringing that to investors, as well as the right brain of kind of helping founders and helping them get from that really difficult period from seed to Series A. it was just such a powerful story for me that resonated so strongly, and that's what I found was very attractive in coming into the role. So, you know, I think, and I'm very grateful for the experience that I've had and the opportunities that I've had on the institutional side, but this is really something else.
Now, speaking of the team, you know, Trevor and Creel will still be on the investment committee, but Creel's off with this side project he's got. He's talking about it as a sister company. Mick Labinskas, who's come back to Australia from the US and has been writing a great book about girls in STEM. She's building a robot. And Alyssa Marie from Investible.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that and what's going to be happening there.
Yeah, I can't say too much because we haven't made a formal announcement, but...
Damn, I was hoping to get it out of you.
Look, we'll make sure that you get the scoop. But what I can say is that first and foremost, we're not losing Creel and Trevor's expertise to the business. I think that's the critical thing, that you know, Trevor remains as chairman, Creel remains on the investment committee, so there's still really strong oversight to make sure that we continue building on the great work that's been done. But I think the new initiative is really, really exciting, and you know, I think the ability, and one of Creel's great strengths is being able to see things that others can't see about in the ecosystem and connecting capital to opportunity, and really bringing that entrepreneurial flair to bear. So I, for one, am interested in you know, watching how that plays out.
I'm fascinated by the idea that it's a sister company. We'll see how that pans out. Now, the 50 million, who are you looking for? You're looking for a couple of big super funds to tip in 25 mil each, job done, off to lunch, or are you sort of looking for high net worth? Where are you going for the cash?
Yeah, the initial approach, so we formally start marketing next week, but the initial approach has been to our existing partners and existing investors and club members, and we've been really pleased with the response that we've had there so far. And so, you know, that group of investors backed us in the early stage, and so we want to give them access to this next opportunity. And so, but then beyond that, we are having conversations mostly with the family office market and some select private wealth management groups as well. So we don't think that the institutional market for this style of product is there just yet. I think that's on us to do a little bit more work to tell that story and make sure that we bring that benefit to market. But you know, those other groups I think are very much looking for new opportunities for their clients.
When you're talking through this as an opportunity, what kind of returns are you talking through? And investing at seed stage, how long does it take to realise those?
Yeah, that is one of the key issues, is liquidity. And so, you know, the Fund 1's life cycle is about 7 years. You know, there are some liquidity events that take place during the course of that period, and I think you might have had one of the Mast founders on last week, I understand, and you know, one of the other portfolio companies, Minetta Seafoods, was also in the AFR last week. So there are some early investments that we've backed that are already bringing liquidity, which is very positive. But generally, it's a 7-year time frame. But what we've proven with our track record so far is you know, we've been able to generate a 55% internal rate of return on the deals that we made pre-2015, and post-2015 a 3.9 times return of cash invested. So we're confident that we can continue to replicate that, and particularly through that really robust process where we're sourcing and selecting, you know, screening out and then selecting the best opportunities.
Well, Rod, congrats on joining the Investible team. Look forward to the adventure. Look forward to the news of what's coming next for the other members of the team. But thanks for joining us on Startup Daily today.
Thanks very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rod.